Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to continue on talking about perspective and duality. In this world of duality, perspective matters a lot. Perspective determines whether you exist or do not exist. Perspective determines whether you're alive or was never alive to begin with. Perspective, perspective, perspective. So let me get started. In the previous episode, I talked about existence, So I'm going to continue on talking about existence. From our perspective, right? The rules of this world can never change. They're unchanging. But if you follow the logic of duality, both opposites must exist simultaneously as one. The equal and opposite of an unchanging rule is a rule that's always changeable. Rules that can be changed. So the moment scientists prove that the rules are unchangeable, it automatically proves that the rules can be changed. Because the equal and opposite must also exist. For left to exist, its equal and opposite right must exist. For before to exist, its equal and opposite after must exist. For small to exist, large must exist. For movement to exist, its equal and opposite non-movement must also exist. These two must come together as one. For an unchanging rules to exist, a changeable rule must also exist. The fact that the rules appear unchanging, from our perspective, automatically proves that the rules are changeable from a different perspective. From our perspective, the past no longer exists, right? From the perspective of people living in the past right now, is the future that do not exist. Perspective determines a lot. Whether you exist or not is based off perspective and perspective alone. You exist from your perspective, and only your perspective. From the perspective of those living in the future, you ceased to exist a long time ago. You no longer exist. Just like Abraham Lincoln and all the people in the past, your great-grandparents and your great ancestors. From your perspective, they no longer exist. And from your perspective, they never will again. From their perspective, they are just as real as you and me. We are the ones that do not exist. We are the ones that never existed to begin with. So do you truly exist? Yes, you do. Do you not exist as well? Yes, you do. From the perspective of those living in the future, you don't exist. From the perspective of those living in the past, you never existed to begin with. You may think the past is set in stone, right? Many people believe the past, is dead and gone. It is set in stone and is dead and gone. But let's go back to the rules again. Remember, from our perspective, the rules can be changed. Because from our perspective, the rules can be changed. It proves that the rules are changeable from a different perspective. From our perspective, the past can't be changed. From the perspective of our ancestors, their changes, their choices can lead to the change of our future. Their very choices right now, you think they're dead and gone, but that's from our perspective. From their perspective, they're still there, still living their lives, just like you and me. And when they change their choices, our choices change with them. Their choices will change our future. Isn't that what people are afraid of? People going to the past? Scientists have been trying to go to the past for years. Do you think it's impossible for them to go to the past? If they go to the past and change the choices of those in the past, right? We won't know the choices have changed. Because from our perspective, the choices will never appear to have changed. Because the past creates the future, right? Because the past creates the future. When the past changes, the future changes as well. And since we are a product of the past, we won't notice that the future has changed. We will never notice that the future has changed. That's the power that scientists with time machines have. They can go to the past and change it, and we'll never know that the past have changed. Just like God can change the rules as and when God feels like it, we'll never know that the rules have changed. Your body ages all the time. You never notice your body aging. Your body's always aging. But from your perspective, your body does not age at all. You will never notice your body aging one bit. You never feel your body aging in any way, shape, or form. Yet every second of the day, your body ages. Your cells are constantly moving. They're constantly sending information. But you don't notice these things, do you? Do you know why you don't notice these things? The same reason why you won't notice the past changing. When the past changes, it'll affect our future. But since our future is the product of the past, when the past changes, our future changes as well. Because we're the product of the past, we won't notice this change. You are a product of your cells. Your mind is a product of your cells. Your mind is a product of the atoms inside your body. When they change, you won't notice it. Blood is also always coursing through your veins. But you never notice these changes, do you? You never notice the changes of your atoms vibrating. The atoms in your body are always changing. They're always vibrating in place, wiggling endlessly. Do you notice these changes? The blood is constantly coursing through your veins. Do you notice these changes? When your cells send signals from one cell to the other, do you notice these changes? If your body itself does not, give you the ability to notice if your body's changing, you will never notice that your body is changing. The capability to know that your body is changing must first be added to your body for you to know your body is changing. Otherwise, you will never notice your body changing. You must first have the capability to know that the past have changed. Or, no matter how much the past changes, you will never notice the past change. Our world works that way. No matter how much God changes the rules of this world, if God doesn't give you the ability to know that the rules have changed, you will never notice the rules change. The rules will always appear unchanging from your point of view, just like your body appears unchanging from your point of view. You'll never notice these things unless you're given the ability to notice. If your body doesn't have the ability to notice these things, you will never notice them. If God doesn't give you the ability to notice that the rules have changed, you will never notice that the rules have changed. The rules will always appear unchanging from your point of view. This is how life works. If a scientist goes to the past right now and meets your ancestors and changes the rules of the world, you will cease to exist. If they change the direction that your ancestors are going towards and force them to remove you from the world, you will cease to exist. And nobody will know that you never existed to begin with. Because the future is the product of the past. The product of the past. Since it's the product of the past, whatever happens in the past stays in the past. Only those in the past and only those who have changed the rules would know. you won't know that the rules have changed because you never existed to begin with. If you get removed from existence because your past have changed, someone decided, your ancestor was supposed to marry one of your other ancestors, right? But then someone came and married them instead. Someone kidnapped your great aunt, no, your great 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 grandmother. Someone kidnapped her before she met your grandfather, and now you no longer exist in this world. The world will go on as if your existence was never there to begin with. If you change the past, no one in the future will know that the past have changed. When you change the rules, nobody will know that the rules have changed. This is just how life works. When you change the rules, nobody would know. Because you first have to have the ability to know that the rules have changed before you know that the rules have changed. If you don't have that, that programming inside your mind, if you don't have that ability to know that the past have changed, you will never know that the past have changed. So from my point of view, the past no longer exists. From the point of view of those living in the future as well, you don't exist. But do you not exist? No. You exist. You're just as real as they are. But they believe you don't exist anymore. But yet your choices right now determines their future. Although you don't exist from their point of view, from the point of view of those living in the future, you don't exist. But your choices right now affects their future. It affects their choices. That is how powerful you are. The choices of your ancestors, who you believe no longer exist, still affects you. If someone can go to the past and change their choices, your choices will change as well. Your life could change as well. Perspective determines what exists and what doesn't. Perspective determines what's changeable and what's not changeable. From your perspective, the past is unchanging. From the perspective of those living in the past right now, they have the free will to make choices. And they always have the free will to make choices. When they make choices, those choices have consequences in the future. Your future. This is how life works. This world is a world of duality. The past doesn't exist right now. And since the past doesn't exist right now, it proves that the past exists. The equal and opposite must be true. Since the past doesn't exist, it proves the past exists. Since the future doesn't exist, it proves that the future exists. Since you exist, it also proves that you don't exist. From the perspective of those living in the future, you don't exist. From the perspective of those living in the past, you never existed to begin with. And this is how life works. It's also the same thing with, alive. Whether you're alive or dead, it's also perspective. Whether you exist or not is perspective. Whether you're actually alive or dead, it's also perspective. Are you truly alive? Or are you a non-living thing? If you say you're alive, then yes, you are alive. That's the truth. You are alive just like everybody else. If you say you were never alive to begin with, that's also the truth. Your body is composed of atoms, and people do not think atoms are alive. Atoms are not considered living things. Yet, your entire body is just a massive colony of atoms. That's all it is. So if atoms aren't alive, how can you be alive? Perspective determines a lot. From the perspective of humans, you are alive. From the perspective of atoms, you were never alive to begin with. Because atoms were never alive to begin with. If atoms aren't alive, you aren't alive. But yet, you're more alive than anyone else. You're just as alive as everybody else. This is how life works. Perspective determines a lot. Are you truly alive or are you not? Are atoms truly alive or are they not? If you're alive and all you are a bunch of atoms, it automatically means atoms are alive as well. If atoms are alive, it means the whole world is alive. This whole world is one large living being. That being is God. That's why God is omnipresent. That's why it states that God is omnipresent. Everything in this world is one massive being. And that being is called God, the God of the Bible. Everyone is alive. Everything around you is alive. Because everything that's around you is alive. It's capable of pretending to be dead. Because God is alive, God can pretend to be a dead rock. God can pretend to be a non-living atom. God can also pretend to be a human being. Because this world is alive, that's why this world has rules. Something illogical cannot create something logical. The rules of this world are logical. Because you can understand them, they are logical. If you can't understand how this world works, it means this world is illogical. Because we can understand how this world works, it means the world is logical. Something illogical cannot create something logical. The very fact that this world is logical proves that this world was created. It proves that we're inside a massive logical being, intelligent being. And that intelligent being created these rules, these laws of duality. The rules that govern this world states that since everything is fragmented, everything must also be one. Since the world appears illogical, it proves that the world is logical. Since the rules appear unchanging, it proves that the rules are changeable. Humans can't change the rules because God does not want humans to change the rules. Humans can't see the rules change because God does not want you to know that the rules have changed. When God changes the rules, you will never know that the rules have changed. When God changes the past, you will never know that the past have changed. Likewise, if scientists go to the past and change the past, you will also never know that the past have changed. This is how our life works. You need to understand that the rules can change. From the perspective of scientists, they can't change the rules. Or can't they? There are things you can do in this world. There are things you can't. I'm not going to tell you what God can or has given us the ability to do because that's for God to decide. Whether we can change the rules or not is based off God's approval. If God allows you to change the rules, you can change the rules. If God doesn't allow you to change the rules, you'll never be able to change the rules, to begin with. If God allows you to go to the past, you'll be able to go to the past. If you've never had that ability to begin with, you'll never have it. You're living inside the body of God because this world is intelligent. Otherwise, humans would never be intelligent. Intelligence is a property of our world. Life is a property of our world. Atoms are properties of our world. Logic is a property of this world. Everything that we know and love is a property of this world. Everything in this world belongs to God. Everything in this world will always be God. And that's how this world works. I pray for everyone's safety and understanding. Amen. That's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.